Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Little King story playthrough. So, we've kind of been faffing about for the past age, and really, all we have left to do is just make up quite a bit more money to try and build up the rest of Royal City, and also to get that extra power up. But we've reached a point where getting money is a little bit difficult again. And really, we're perfectly well equipped to go take on the next king. So, if it's alright with you lot, and it's going to have to be because, this footage is old at this point, like it was recorded weeks and weeks ago. So, yeah, you're going to have to go with me because we are going to the next kingdom, which is going to be very exciting because obviously it means new things to talk about, and it means that I'm not going to be blathering like a lunatic for at least 25 minutes, so that's just going to make me very happy. So, first things first, we are going to just make sure all of our citizens have items, anything that can give us a little bit of a boost, like giving them the gauntlet, or parasol. The parasol is a very good one. I like the parasol because it might stun an enemy. It's not really going to do us any good against a king, but just in general, if there's anything along the way, it's going to do us wonders. Now, if there's one thing that is recommended for taking on the Ripe Kingdom, it's getting having 3 miners in your party. And the reason for that will become clear when we reach the boss itself. Now, as you can see, I have 2, I believe, 2 carefree adults, and, oh! It seems that I still had people not fully healed, so I think I decided, let's go to bed, let's start a new day, everyone will be perfectly fine and healthy. I have no idea what I was thinking, what was going on. Or at least I certainly don't have any idea what's going on right now, but it doesn't matter. Because the team is prepared. I just need to turn those 2 carefree adults into miners, and then we should be good to go. And I'm pretty sure we have enough money to do it anyway, so it's gonna be glorious. And I have to say, I am quite excited about the prospect of this kingdom. Not so much the boss at the end of it. Like, the boss at the end of the Ripe Kingdom is a little bit annoying. You really shouldn't have had any grief from King of Rock, but King Shishkebaboo is probably going to give you a little bit more grief in the long run. If only because, while the Ripe Kingdom itself is perfectly fine and simple, King Shishkebaboo is more luck-based than anything. And oh, thank God I had enough money to turn them all into miners, so that makes me feel better. So, everyone is here. We're being welcomed to the Ripe Kingdom and the Forest Cafeteria. So, yes. Cakes and all sorts await us. And, this wonderful, wonderful piece of classical music. This is, as you should probably recognise, La Donna è mobile, which is, translates to as The Woman is Fickle, and it is from Giuseppe Verdi's opera Rigoletto from 1851. Basically, it's a canzone, which I just need to check what that terminology actually refers to. It's a type of song, it's literally song in Italian. And it's more specifically an Italian or Provençal song or ballad, often used to describe a type of lyric which resembles a madrigal. Sometimes a composition which is simple and song-like is designated as a canzone, especially if it is by a non-Italian, an example being the aria Voi che sapete from Mozart's Marriage of Figaro. But yeah, basically it's a very famous piece of music. Very famous for being a showcase for tenors in opera. And yeah, it's a catchy tune. And apparently, Raphael Mirate's performance of the Bravura aria at the opera's 1851 premiere was hailed as the highlight of the evening. Before the opera's first public performance in Venice, the song was it was rehearsed under tight secrecy, a necessary precaution as it proved to be incredibly catchy, and soon after the song's first performance, every gondolier in Venice was singing it. So obviously, it's a very famous piece of music. And, I mean, it's kind of hilarious when you look at the translation. Because, I mean, basically it's, woman is flighty like a feather in the wind, she changes in voice and in thought. Always a lovely pretty face, in tears or in laughter, it's untrue. And then it just sort of repeats and all that jazz. There's apparently a poetic adaptation of the lyrics. But, I don't think it's quite so accurate. But yes, I don't know why they quite chose for La Donna e Mobile to be the song for the Ripe Kingdom. Because obviously this is, well, as you're going to see, it's a very French. I mean, you should really already be able to see the French influence because it's gâteaux, and you had... Oh, God. I the fact that it was Ripe Kingdom at the start. That sort of thing. And obviously Verdi was Italian and the song's Italian, but I'm not gonna fuss too much. Now, this is helpful because it provides us with a fountain. Well, not a fountain, a hot spring. I don't know why I keep calling them fountains, because they're not fountains. But, oh well, it's fine. Now, obviously we are getting gradually quite low on arrows. It's not a huge problem because they're not going to factor into the boss fight whatsoever. But you are certainly going to want to just defend yourself while you pick everything up throughout the kingdom, because they can get annoying. And also, you know, I just want to bring the pain. I can't allow any Oni to get through here. They need to all die. They're adorable, but I just can't have it. So, I'm not really a fan of coffee. Give me a cup of tea any day. Tea and a bit of cake. It's lovely. Afternoon teas are glorious. But coffee, no, you don't have a coffee with cake. It's tea and cake or tea and biscuits. Either of the two. And obviously for any of my viewers who are American, you're going to be very confused right now by my referring to cake and biscuits, I would have thought, because obviously they're seen as being, well, what we call cake and what you call cakes are different things, I think. And, oh, this bit. So as you try and attack this odd structure that sits ahead of us, we're going to be just attacked by Hopper Onis, which can obviously cause quite a bit of damage, and that's just not fun. I mean, I'm being really reckless right now because I just thought, oh, it'd be Fine, there's the fountain. Fountain. Hot spring. I was just saying. It's like Jesus wept. Either way, we picked up the God Membo for King Shishkebaboo. And, yeah, we are soon going to deal with it and... The battlefield is literally just ahead. We are so very close to the boss fight right now. I just want to make sure that I get this treasure dug up. It's only gold bars, but even then, it's a little something, and that's just wonderful. Then I thought, oh, you know what? I'll go heal up, come back, and be ready to take on King Shishkebaboo as nicely as possible. Wasn't necessarily my smartest move ever, because I thought, well, there's not going to be any enemies respawning over there. And either I was wrong about the fact that they respawn, or I just didn't realise that there was a second wave that was going to turn up as soon as I ran back. Because, as you're going to see, I didn't finish off all the hopperoni. And also, that went back to full health, so that was a joy. So it's just like, oh, I've got to do it all over again. Ugh. But it's fine, because I was a little bit more prepared for them turning up. And then it was just like, well, I've kind of got to be a little bit careful now, haven't I? That's it, I really do like the aesthetic for the Right Kingdom. Just all those cakes, they just look so delicious, maybe a little bit plasticky. But it's just a nice combination of having cakes in the forest, and in a way it reminds me very much of Hansel and Gretel, because obviously it's the gingerbread house, and all of that. So it's just making it fairy tale-y again. There's a different reason for why this is all the way it is, but it's a nice little link, I suppose. Also, I see a hand. I see another hand. Oh, this is getting slightly terrifying. What awaits us inside this bit of cake? I'm sure I'm going to be even more terrified once it actually appears. And we're done. And here he is. This is King Shishkebaboo.
Bonjour. Cadeau de peine enquêté par la Sibérie. Merci. Plein rocket ici, de pseudo, de dos, que compense. Très bien. Ce que compense un parti, c'est un compense pour le palais à chaud. Il est vrai que le passé par son ulti dans le bain. C'est nos de dos. Shishkebaboo. Compense un parti, c'est un rocket, c'est remplacé.
So, yes, Shishkebaboo, the glutton of Versailles. And as you can tell, he's very French, with the merci and the très bien, and so on and so forth. But as you can see, he's very fat. And, this fight is very different to what we've been facing before, because it takes place on a pinball table. And this is why it's very much more based on luck than anything else. Basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to shrink King Shishkebaboo's size and also I mean, the main job that you're doing is trying to fling him into that rock right at the top, because you see the line that's pointing there. That is what you're wanting to do, because you want to break that, and the way of beating him is behind that. Unfortunately, it's a little bit difficult, this fight, and it's very easy to accidentally die, and it's very easy to accidentally kill off all of your citizens. Once he comes to the bottom of the table, he will stuff his face, and he will restore, I think it's about 50 kilograms, maybe a bit more than that. Either way, he adds quite a bit to his weight again. The more weight you take off of him, the faster he moves around the pinball table, and yeah, you just got to keep going as you best can. Music during this fight is La Campanella, which is Italian for the little bell. It's the nickname given to the third of Franz Liszt's 6 Grandes Etudes de Paganini. So the Grand Paganini Etudes. S141 is the specific one, and that was in 1851. And it's in the key of G sharp minor. It is a revision of an earlier version from 1838, the Étude d'exécution transcendante d'après Paganini, S140, and its melody comes from the final movement of Niccolò Paganini's Violin Concerto No. 2 in B minor, where the tune was reinforced by a little handbell. So, yes, it's a nice little tune. Not quite as fun as La Donna è mobile, but still certainly fun, although it is a song that just remains in my nightmares. Because this fight is a nightmare, because it is entirely luck-based. The main thing that you want to be doing is you want to try and get Shishkebaboo to kill the Oni men that are at the top of the board, and then whenever you see the Oni with the massive light board appear, you want to send your soldiers, well, you want to try and hit him. Either get Shishkebaboo to hit him, or you do, well, you're going to have to get Shishkebaboo to hit him because you can't go far enough. Because once that Oni is hit, the light will go down and you'll be able to send your soldiers all the way up to the top to hit that rock. And obviously that means that you can destroy the rock faster, and that means that you can beat Shishkebaboo faster. Unfortunately, it's easier said than done. And I will be the first to admit that this certainly took me more than a few tries, because I died! Which was very depressing, and I was just like, God freaking damn it, that means I've got to do the entirety of the Right Kingdom again, and But thankfully, the game is very nice in that it provides a checkpoint just before fighting the king. So even if you die here, rather than just what normally happens in that it kicks you to the main menu and you have to load an old save, which is what happens if you're taking on... don't know whether it's just in the field. I don't know whether Guardian UMAs do it. But whenever you're fighting a king, you'll get the option to quit or continue. And continue just starts the fight again. I think they're aware that this is the moment of the game where the most challenge is presented, so it'd be rather cruel if they kind of chucked you out and forced you to replay a lot of the game. Because it's not like you have the option to save at any point before you get here. I mean, it is technically possible to return to your kingdom, but then, yeah. But either way, we've destroyed the rock, and a massive giant fork awaits at the bottom of, well, the top of the pinball table. So, as you can probably guess, we have got to fling Shishkebaboo all the way to the top. Which is also easier said than done. I have found that really the best way to do well at this fight is to just constantly spam your soldiers, Because if you kind of spam them in a line, there's more chance that they are going to hit Shishkebaboo before you have any grief. But don't worry, it will happen soon, he will die, don't worry. But yeah, this fight can either go really quickly, or it can take absolutely bloody forever. It certainly took me more than a few tries, and I was here for very long. I was thinking, do I include the hell that was all my previous tries, but then I thought, no, because we'll be here for absolutely bloody ever. But either way, he should be dying pretty soon. I hope, for the love of God. I mean, you can probably tell where part of his name comes from, because, you know, Shishkebab. We're going to turn him into a Shishkebab. And that's going to be amazing! But, oh, yes! Thank God! Take that, Shishkebaboo! Also, I have to say, I love how he blasts off again saying, "How are you?" It's just quite cute. Although, calling Shishkebaboo cute just makes me feel a little bit sick. He's terrifying. Like, stupidly ultra terrifying.
Yes, sir.
But either way, let's free the princess! Oh, it's gonna be glorious. I wonder what she... oh!
Shishkebaboo. Akatawala, እርግዝግሁን እንዴት ደስ ይል ነበር። እንሰራለን ግን በቀረግ ይህንን ነገር በፍቅር በፍጹም መስራት አለበት። ብረገኔ akatawala.
So yes, we have 3 wives now. Oh, we are really putting it about, aren't we? I have to say, not a huge fan of Spumoni. Like, I'm not feeling it too much. But we are an equal opportunities king. It doesn't matter what our princesses look like, or their personalities. We're gonna marry them, whatever. And oh, it feels so good to have all that money. It's just like, oh, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So, let us celebrate! Because another king has been defeated! Booyah!
Difficult to leave Kodan for Ross. Easy, go almost. Difficult to leave Kodan for Ross. Easy. Following up. And was after difficult to leave. And in equals the 9. Following up. And was after. And in difficult to leave Kodan for Ross.
Never forget your towel. Nice Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference there, Hauser. I'm loving it. I'm down with those Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy references. But this earthquake destroys that other bit in Bony Tunnel, and that means that we can get through should we wish to. Might be a little while before we do that, but still.
Difficult to leave Kodan to run. Where Puzzle will be there, raid.
So yes, we're amazing. Pretty much, we are magnificent, and I am over the moon. And because we have defeated 3 kings and gotten 3 wives, we're going to expand the castle, and it's going to be glorious. I can't wait to see what it looks like.